How's it going, everyone out there? Hope you're having a lovely Sunday night, or evening, or afternoon, with your families, keeping safe and sound. I wanted to share some experiences about, thinking outside the box. In some previous videos I've put together, I want to talk about calendar reform and how I woke up to this interesting piece of information that not a lot of people talk about. We've been living according to the Gregorian calendar since 1582. So if it was October 5th, 1582, the next day would have been October 16th, because Pope Gregory the 13th decided to calculate the formula for leap year. So he changed it to the Gregorian calendar. A few days were changed, and that was pretty much it. So I just wanted to talk about how important it is to think outside the box in this time we're living in. So I wanted to talk about something that not many people talk about on YouTube. And there's a lot of, good information. There's a lot of bad information. I'm not saying my information's any better. I don't get many views on my videos because, I just started, and maybe my videos are a bit boring, but it's very important information in my view. And I hope people out there can appreciate it, do their own research. You've got to do your own research and think outside the box. So we've been living according to an artificial timing standard, the Gregorian calendar and the mechanical clock. And these two instruments keep us locked in a frequency that isn't natural. And the ratio of that frequency is 1260. 12 months, 60 hours, 60 seconds, 60 minutes. So the days are just divided up into this mechanical, irregular, illogical timing mechanism. So it keeps us locked into this time is money, don't have enough time in a day, I'm busy mentality. And so I want to put videos together just to bring this to people's awareness. If they ever want to come across a video that is a bit out there, well, this is for you. So let's look a little bit at calendar reform and the calendar reform movement. So in 1923, the League of Nations decided to open up the books to study calendar reform and whether changing the Gregorian calendar was due, the day was due. So it was 1923, and the League of Nations received 500 proposals, right? So quite a few proposals regarding calendar reform back in 1923. So these 500 proposals were brought down to 3, right? The final 3. And these were looked at and opened up in 1931 at the League of Nations conference on calendar reform. So the first calendar proposal was put together by the International Calendar Organization, which was formed by Mr. Broughton Richmond. And Mr. Broughton Richmond promoted a perpetual calendar based on the principle of five 73-day cycles, which equals 365 days. Okay, so principle of five 73-day cycles, which equals 365 days, and the year divided into 12 months of five 6-day weeks. So the year divided into 12 months of 5 6-day weeks each. So 5 6-day weeks each, plus a 5-day cycle. Right, so sounds a bit complicated, doesn't it? Right. So this was the first proposal. Okay, so Broughton Richmond, the International Calendar Organization. So the second proposal was put together by the International Fixed Calendar League. The International Fixed Calendar League, represented by Mr. Moses Cotsworth. Also supported by Eastman Kodak of the Kodak Corporation and the International Chamber of Commerce. And they promoted a perpetual 13-month, 28-day calendar, which was first presented by Auguste Comte, 1842 to 1849. Look him up, Auguste Comte. Okay, writer, philosopher, inclusive of the day out of time, though it was not backed by a more thorough mathematical science, which has now been supplied by the discovery of the law of time by José Argüelles, who wrote The Mayan Factor, and he wrote Time in the Technosphere, and he studied the Mayan calendar for 40 years, and you should look him up, José Argüelles. He passed away in 2011, but he was responsible for the meditation, the spiritual harmonic convergence of August 1987, where hundreds of thousands of people congregated around the world in sacred sites to perform a mass meditation, the first of its kind, international event. So the International Chamber of Commerce, the Kodak Corporation, and the writer of Time in the Technosphere, José Argüelles, Mayan expert, propose a 13-month, 28-day calendar, perpetual harmonic calendar. So we need to get this information out there. The third and final proposal was put together by the World Calendar Association, represented by Elizabeth Achilles, promoted the World Calendar, a modified but perpetual version of the 12-month Gregorian calendar, which also included the principle of a day out of time, a null day. So you'd have 364 days plus the fifth day, which would be a null day, a day out of time, so that the calendar can be a perpetual harmonic calendar, 13 months, 28 days. No confusion whatsoever. So this group, the World Calendar Association, turned out to be the longest lived and the most vocal of the three organizations that I just mentioned. And they were responsible for the publication of the Journal of Calendar Reform, 1931 to 1932. So there's a little bit of history on the calendar reform movement. So I suggest, if you're thinking, well, what can I do about this? Go to the Foundation for the Law of Time. Look him up on the internet. I'm sure you're at home right now. the foundation for the law of time, and do a little bit of research. Open up your mind. What does the perpetual harmonic 13-month, 28-day calendar mean? What would this do to human civilization if we changed the 12-month Gregorian calendar, which is 500 years old, to a totally brand new 13-month, 28-day calendar? So look it up, it's fantastic. So calendar reform is not something you hear about. The organization for the Foundation for the Law of Time have petitioned the United Nations and the Vatican to change the calendar, maybe look at changing, reforming the calendar, but it's been completely ignored. So I guess we're going to have to change our own calendar in our own minds, individually. And perhaps if enough people get together, but definitely look up Foundation for the Law of Time. I'm going to post more videos on this. I want to get this information out there. Changing the calendar will change your mind, will change your perception of time, and it will change society. It will change our civilization. And we really do need a change. We really do need a change right now, ladies and gentlemen. We need a big transformation. So, speak to you soon.